Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. I wonder what's going on today in the insane world of the left. Oh, well, would you look at that? It's another viral moment where some woke leftist, who believes the world revolves around them, attempts to cry bully others simply attempting to do their job into lifting up their worldview, seeking constant recognition and affirmation from the outside world. It's another one of those clips. But let's just say this Delta employee, this airline employee, wasn't having any of it, not even for a second. Folks, this right here is how you should deal with leftist cry bullying. Let me show you guys exactly what everyone's talking about on Twitter. This one clip already over 10 million views. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the clip that's bouncing across the world that everybody's talking about.
And what about when a Delta employee misgenders you intentionally?
Sorry, while he's talking, you're talking.
You just misgendered me again.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Gotcha.
Both of you have.
Sorry.
Wasn't intentional, but if you want to take it personal, that's also.
Well, she did do it intentionally twice.
You're talking to me too.
You said she and then you said he.
You're being condescending, and if you want to continue, I have Port Authority escort you out the building right this moment if you want to play that game with me.
Okay.
Would you like to continue 3 days before Christmas? I really don't mind.
I'm good. I'll just put this on.
You know, it's about time. It feels like the world is finally coming back to some semblance of normalcy. At one point, these kind of tactics were working. People would succumb to the pressure, too intimidated to speak, especially when representing a corporation, but nowadays it seems as though people are just done with all the nonsense. The guy is simply trying to do his job, and we've seen so many encounters exactly like this. The world does not revolve around you. But as we know, in the world of leftist cry bullies, and really that's become one of my favorite terms, the new trend seems to be putting your grievances out there constantly. In fact, weaponizing grievances, weaponizing any type of disadvantage that you may have, any type of disability, to essentially bully others into submission, to get special treatment. There's a reason people say special little snowflake. We saw the same thing with health at any size activists, who actually somehow secured a massive win this year. We all know the campaign that they've been waging on major airlines over the last couple of years.
A plus-size influencer, Jalen Cheney, demands free extra seats on a flight.
As my petition states, all plus-size passengers should be provided with an additional seat or 2 or 3 depending on their size and need. Airlines should also offer a straightforward refund process for those who are buying additional seats independently.
She believes that airlines are currently discriminating against larger passengers.
Let's just state facts. Plus-size travelers need more space. We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely without fear of being discriminated against because of our size.
And then crazy enough, this year it actually happened. Southwest, at least one airliner, caved to the woke pressure.
Southwest Airlines says plus-size passengers who may have difficulty sitting comfortably using the armrest can get an extra seat for free. The airline says if an adjacent seat is available, it'll provide the travelers with that extra space. Southwest is advising passengers who need more space to book 2 seats on a flight, and if there are empty seats on the plane, they'll get a refund for one of their 2 seats. The perk isn't available on every flight.
But who would have thought? All Southwest really needed to do to avert, PR disaster was to send this guy straight to the forefront to tell these delusional people to basically cut it out and get back to the real world. The world does not revolve around you. Employees, people you deal with on a daily basis, regular private citizens do not have to conform to your worldview. In fact, you aren't even necessarily entitled to respect, let alone preferential treatment. It's not the world's responsibility to walk on eggshells around you. It's not the world's responsibility to know everything about you. It's not like people are studying your public profile ahead of time. You have employees that are dealing with hundreds, if not thousands of customers every single day. And especially during the Christmas rush, it's busy and things gotta move. You can't get in the way. Your issue is your issue. It's not the world's issue. It's not the world's responsibility to affirm your gender. And really, I think this is a result of bad parenting. I think my generation and Gen Z, I've just been told too many times by their parents that they can be whatever they want and that they can get whatever they want. The world is yours. To a certain extent, that's fine. If the message is being promoted from a perspective of you could accomplish anything you want, you could earn everything you want, but when you're told from a young age that everything is yours, and that you can do no wrong, and that judgment is bad, just be you, little Timmy, and never listen to anyone. Just chase whatever makes you happy and never listen to anybody or any criticism, well, you become an entitled little brat, and now we have a little army of entitled little brats Democrats, living whatever life they want to live, sure, but throwing tantrums when they don't get what they want out in the public world. You know, it's a level of entitlement that can only come from one place. It comes from the home. It comes from a lack of parenting or proper parenting. People who are raised right simply just don't do stuff like this. You know, we all have our problems, we all have our issues. We don't attempt to weaponize and monetize them. You know, that's what this is. It's the weaponization of identity and victimhood and victim status. People who are raised right don't behave like this because we were taught to check our egos, to be humble and to not cause problems for other people who have nothing to do with our issues. Only self-entitled narcissists who weren't raised properly by their parents, who were never told no, act in this manner. What we are seeing is an epidemic of adult toddlers using victimhood status as a social currency to dominate others. That's exactly what this is. It's a cry for attention. It's a cry for help. You know, maybe when you were a kid, your parents, gave in to all of your emotional abuse and allowed you to dominate the household, but in the real world, it's time for a reality check. You know, the bullying has got to stop. And of course, speaking of bullying, what do you think's the next part of this story? I'm calling this before it even happens because I know it's going to happen. Most likely the individual captured in that encounter is going to be facing public harassment now. Threats of doxing and violence. His employer, Delta, is most likely going to be facing a massive boycott campaign from the cultural Marxist activist militia. And so, of course, the quest for further injustice will continue. They will attempt to destroy this man's life because that is what narcissistic, entitled, miserable people do. And that's why it's probably time to get at least a little bit active and pay attention to what's going on here, because nobody should get fired for doing their job properly. Nobody should get fired when this is the exact correct way to deal with narcissists who demand the world bend to their every whim. You know, it's time to get involved, and I've been saying this for years, although honestly it feels as though these days I don't really have to say it as much. We have to get involved in the world of activism just like the left does, as a sort of countermeasure. If the left is going to attempt to wield cultural power to ruin people's lives and strong-arm advertisers, well then we should wield the exact same counteracting power. If we meet in the middle, nothing's gonna happen. It'll be a standoff. Or maybe it'll be another Bud Light situation where we win overwhelmingly. The point is, we can't let the left run their little authoritarian censorship regime racket. There has to be a peaceful, counteracting activist force that steps in and applies the exact same pressure. If they're going to apply pressure on Delta to have this man fired, to have his life ruined, well then good Samaritans have to step in to apply pressure on Delta to leave this man alone. Because he did nothing wrong, and the majority of the internet is behind him. Enough with the constant emotional abuse and bullying from the left. This is how it's done. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.